Hi, how are you? Seems like ages since I've been here. Well, it was. I mean, last week I didn't do one because we went to Festival of Quilts. Just seems like a long time. Right, today we're going to do a koala block. My youngest granddaughter Elsie is mad about koalas, and I thought, oh, I could do her a cushion for her birthday. So while we were at Llandailo, remember we went down there and you saw the quilts? We did a whole thing. I found this book. Okay, so it's called Quilt Koala. It's all sorts of wombats and possums and all sorts in there. And I thought, yeah, I can do that. Thinking it was piecing, and I found out then, once I got it home, that it is foundation piecing. Now, I've never done foundation piecing, not really. I've done it with the tuffet. The tuffet is a foundation piecing, so it was all so it's brand new to me. So I worked it out how to do it piecing. So I went in and I worked it all out. I drew it out. I worked it all out. And I've just not had time to go back to make sure that all my calculations are right. I think some of them are wrong and I didn't have the time to play with it. So I've done it foundation piecing. So I went along and drew it out from the book. So I drew it out onto my stitch and tear from the book, and I drew it out and I got this. Okay, so this is my the one I made. Now there's bits in there that aren't quite right. This bit here should be his chest, not sky, which I found out afterwards. So this is my first ever piece of foundation piecing. I'm quite happy with it. I had to unpick it a couple of times because I had it round the wrong way or getting it to line up and everything, but I'm quite happy with that. However, I don't want to make 6 or 7 of these. You know what I'm like. So I went ahead. Have you seen these books? We haven't got any in stock at the moment, but they're brilliant. These, they come up and you've got graph paper, and they're quilting graphs. So each of these squares here are four squares. It's a 4x4 patch. So you're working in quarter inches, which is brilliant. So that's not it. That's me trying to work out what I was going to do with the Seren stuff. So I drew him out like this. Okay, I forgot to put this on the thingy, so I will but the story doesn't end there. I will put it up if anybody wants to do it. I then photocopied this because it's too big to put on one thing, so I photocopied it into all these little pieces and then re-photocopied it and scanned it, which is now looks like this. Okay, so that's what you would get. You would get an A block, okay, a B block and a C block, which you'll have to build. Okay, so this bit here on the end of the small rectangle sits above there. It's 12 inches and an A4 is not 12 inches. So I had to cut it in half. I've worked hard on this. I also photocopied the little pieces to show you how it's done, which now sit on those scanned pieces. I worked hard, I'm telling you. So, who's there? We can get more of those pads, yes. If you let us know, we can put an order in. So how are everybody? Oh, there's all of you there. There's Anne and Natalie and Leslie. Hello, hello. Jean, hello. I've done your order today, so that's going out. Eileen, you're fascinated. Don't worry. you can come back to it. Unfortunately, you can always revisit me. Hiya Ali, how you doing? I've done your order too. We've been putting stuff on Going, Gone, and some of you have found it. So he is cute. We're now going to make a 12 by 12 block. So hello to everybody. Right, we're going to go for it. Now, like I say, this is new to me, so bear with me. I did remember to pick up an unpicker, because remember last time and I couldn't find it and it all went to pot then. But I'm easy with it. I will roll with it. It'll be okay. So I've already drawn all the bits out, okay, that I'm going to need. One thing I didn't remember to pick up was black thread to do his face, but I just talked you through that. So all you do for these, right, we could go to the overhead, couldn't we? Right, so what you do is you have your piece. Now where's a piece, right? So I've taken that would fit in there. It's actually come up slightly smaller, but that's okay. It is all done in the same time period, so it should all fit together. She says, famous last words. So you're going to put your stitch and tear over the top, and you're just going to draw out your lines, okay? You're going to draw out all of these lines like this. And you're going to make sure that you've got all of them in. Oh, it's a bit wibbly. And you're going to number them. Okay, there's your main koala, that's your sky. I've also written in what it should be, okay? So there's your tree. We're going to ignore that bit there. And there's your sky. Okay, so you're going to draw all of that out in 3 pieces. So your A, your B, and your C. Alright? So we're going to go along. I mean, this was a brilliant book. Look at this. It's by a lady called Margaret Rolfe. And it's got some lovely, these are all my bits in. So this is the size, this is the one that I did do, okay? So because it's foundation piece in, it comes out the other way around, okay? But she also does things like, there's a kangaroo in here, and look, possums and parakeets. Oh look, Sean, Sarah, parakeets. You could do you each a parakeet quote or a project book or something. Right, okay. So we are going to make a big one of these, a big one of them, and we're going to start with A. I didn't write A, B and C. Right, so we're going to start with the body. So we're going to go with the main body. Now, I did him in Minky, alright? Now, I am a true believer that if you do something in, like my imaginary ones, yes, yeah. I'm a true believer that if you do something and you don't know that you shouldn't be doing it, then it's going to work fine. So Sarah went, oh, you're brave doing it in Minky. Well, I didn't realise that there would be a problem with doing it in Minky. So I did cut grey Minky to do the big one, and then thought, do you know what, Sarah? It's all going to go wrong. So I might leave that for another day. But because I wanted him to be fluffy, I've picked up some of this flannel, okay? And I thought I can use this for the main body, and I can use this one here for his chesty bits. His chesticles, okay? And I thought for his ear, the inner ear, I could just use the back. So I'm getting the same sort of colours and just use the back, but we'll get to that. So, mane, I want a piece that's going to sit on my number 1, alright? So, we are just going to cut a piece. Now I'm at home, I was working on smaller pieces because I was using what I had there. Right, so we're going to turn this over and we're going to work from the back. Alright, now I'm going to put this that goes over number 1, and I'm going to check that it covers all of it. Alright, so that's my number 1. Yeah, that's my number 1. So I'm going to pin that in place. Okay, I'm going to sew from this side, so I'm going to pin it on that side. And we need a number 2. Alright, so this I've labelled up as sky. So I'm going to try and be clever. Haha, look, I've got this fabric here, and we're going to try and be clever. And I'm going to try and get it so that it sits. So we're just going to chop off a big piece of this, because I want it all to go right, so I'm not even going to try and get little pieces in there. Okay, so that's his body, that's the bottom of my thing, so I want my sky to go that way. So I need it to go right sides together over here, right? So I'm just going to plop it on there, and I'm going to pin this. Alright, now we're going to be cutting off quite a bit here. Let's see if we can move it along. There. Okay. And we're going to repin that. And I'm now going to sew. No, I want to pin it on that side, don't I? Like I say, this is new to me, so I'm still having to really think about it. Now we're going to make sure this is all going to stay still. Like that. Okay, and I'm going to sew along this line. That's right. Okay, so we're going along here. So we're going over to here. 4. Are we in the right one now? And then we're just going to, there we go. I'm just going to follow that line. So you don't need, there we go. So you don't need a 1/4 inch foot or anything. I just want to be able to put my needle along that line. So we're going to follow the line, okay? Oh, why won't it do? There we are. So we're following that line, and I'm going to stop there, okay? Oh, that button always gets me. Which is your back button? I don't know what that button does. Right, so we are going over here to 2. No, we're going to 3. Okay, so I now know that that is sewn on that line. So we're going to pull this back like that, fold that there, and I want to use 1/4 inch. I want to cut it off at 1/4 inch there, right? Now we sell these. These are add a quarter, and they're brilliant because they've got a bit of a lip, and they go up, butt up, and you can cut it. However, our friend Sasha, you might have seen her on Create and Craft if you're a Create and Crafter. She developed this ruler because she is dyslexic, I think, and has problems with all the numbers shouting at her. I can understand that. They do that for me in Sudoku, so I tend to not use them. So you've got lines here which are on your 1/4 inch, and there's the 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, inch, and it will work either way. So you'll be able to mark, if you needed to mark your 1/4 inch line, you could go through these holes. Okay, you can go through the holes and mark where your markings. So I thought that was quite good. So I thought I'd show you that. So I would line up my 1/4 inch with that along there, okay, like that. I think for this I would probably stick with the add a 1/4. At this point I'm thinking, am I cutting off the right side? Am I doing the right thing? So yes I am. Look at that. So we're going to flip that out. Okay, and it is the wrong way round because I wanted my sky going the other way, but I turned it around too many times. So never mind, he's hanging from the tree now. Okay, so what's our next piece? Number 3 is sky. So I need to put the sky on there. Okay, so we're going to put the sky on. I'm going to cut a longer piece. Like that. And I want it that way out. We're going to do that, like that. That's right, isn't it? Right. So we want to make sure, I was lucky with the other one I think, we want to make sure that that covers that, so that when that flips out it covers the place where I want it to be. Okay, so show about the sky. I wonder if Elsie will know. I wonder if she'll notice that Granny put it on the wrong side. So we're covering this line and we know that this is going to flip out to cover that. If in doubt, use the bigger pieces, okay? Nobody's going to turn around and say, oh, you used too big a piece, because they're not going to know. They're going to cut it off. So we're just going to follow this line here now, like that. Okay, so making sure that everything is lying flat. Just going to go along here. I thought he was really cute. Oh no! I thought he was really cute, and it's got, Sarah's machine has got one of those dual feet, so when I rest on my laurels it cuts it off like that. Right, okay, so we've got this one here has all come out. It's a shame about that one, but there we go, never mind. It's an Amish koala, this is. Okay, so we've done that there. Now, I know on here, I have another one here that says tree. Now, if you look on my original, I put sky, but if you look in the book, it's a tree because he's sitting on it. Mine has just got a bum in the air. He needed a tail or something. Do koalas have tails? So the tree, we're going to use this, I think. Are we going to use this or this? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. 3. Camera. Right, yes. So I was saying, on this one I used, I left it at sky. I thought it was sky, just like I thought it was sky here. But looking at the pictures, it's actually tree. Okay, so that he's sitting on it. And then the next question was, do koalas have bums? They have bums. Do they have tails? So I can't decide. I think I'm going to go for the dark one. The dark wood. For the dark house. So we're going to go along here, like that. And I'm going to slot that in. I want it to go that way, don't I? I want it to go up here, like that. because I want it to flip out. And you can see why I end up with it going wrong, because I right there. We're gonna sew along this last line, and that's A done. That's A done. So there we go. I'm gonna start there. Put that on there. Go. I have to think every time about which button I'm pressing. Okay, so we've now put in this bit here. Okay. Like that. So we now have our pieces in for the bottom of our finished piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to sew all the way around this piece. Okay. Thought I had a corner missing then, but I don't. Excuse me. So we are just pinning that down so that it doesn't move. Turn it over and check. I've pinned it all down. Yes. So we are now going to sew all the way round. Okay. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible so that I'm not taking up too much time. On there. Okay. So I'm just going to sew just to the side of it, because I'm going to cut it at 1/4 inch. So rather than it being on the line where I might want to sew and it show later, I'm following the part of the foot to put my stitch slightly to the side. I wasn't sure how much of this to do to prep it, because you never know whether it's going to be enough for you to see it. So I ended up prepping nothing. Okay. Now, it's going to come out at 12 inch, so if you don't want to make a cushion, you could always turn it into a project bag. I'm big on project bags at the moment, like that. Okay, and with this, I'm going to go along and I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to cut it all off at 1/4 inch-ish. Okay, and I hope that that's right. So I've got a nice new blade in this, it's lush. Oh, there we go. So I'm just cutting off the 1/4 inch all the way around my outer piece. Okay. And hope that I've done this right now. Okay, there we go. So going all the way round. It's amazing how neat it looks once it's done. There we go. So there's our first piece. Doesn't look much, does it? Oh, look. I've caught that there. So we've got a bit of a lip there. There we go. Like I say, it's an Amish one. There's no Amish in this. Right, okay. So that's that. I'm going to keep these pieces here because they're not too small. I might be able to use those. I think that was too small. There we go. So let's bin that, and we'll start with B. Where's B? Now, so our first bit is sky here. So we want a piece of sky going that way that we know is going to fit. That's not going to fit, so we need to cut another piece of sky. Now if you use like abstract, it's going to fit better because it won't matter which way round you're doing it all. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there, and my next piece is ear over here. This ear by ear. So there is my next piece. So what did we say about the ear? We were going to put this in upside down, weren't we? So I need to make sure that this is going to cover it, which it will. We do it like that. Put a pin. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way around. Look at that. So I need to put it on that side, don't I? Otherwise it won't all fit together. So that's going to fit there, and then our earpiece needs to fit. I'm doing it that way because I want that bit on the front. So we'll put the earpiece there, like that, which should flop over. And we'll pin that down now, just like that. Pin that there, and we're just going to sew along that little line there. Okay. Hi Marion, how you doing? Okay. So like that. So we had summer yesterday. It's gone again today. So that's not on there. Pull these out, and I'm going to pull that down there like that because I wanted the back to be the inside of the ear, okay, to try and give it a bit of definition. Alright, so we're now going to fold that way. I'm going to fold this back. Make sure that's out the way. Right. You should have seen me yesterday. I chopped it and then thought, what have I done now? And I'd left it all out where I wanted it and just chopped it right off. So I'm only taking a little bit off there. And that then is going to go along there. Now I don't need all of that, do I? And I could use it for my next ear. So we're going to chop that there, like that. I'm going to put it on the other side. So I'm going to put that, and it right sides together, in there. Okay. Right. I'm just going to pin that down there. Now, the nice thing about stitch and toe is I can see through that it's going to be in the right place. Back over here. These are lots of little pieces on this one. So I'm going to flip that one out like that. So that's going to sit there. So we don't want that. So we want to pull that back like that. Okay. I'm just going to chop off the bits that we don't want there. Like that. And I'm also going to okay, so those pieces now will sit there. So we've done 5, 6, 7, so 8 now is the main piece. Okay, so we want another piece of the main, which is this one. Like that. So we're going to make sure that these, using the back side is quite weird. So we're going to be sewing this line here. So I want to make sure that this is going to flip that way. So I'm going to put that there. I think I'm pretty much guaranteed it's going to sit in the right place. She says. Get that one down. Flat, like that. I'm going to pin this one in place, like that. Like that. So we're now sewing along this line here. I mean, I have to admit, I quite enjoyed doing the foundation piecing. I think I'd like to do a more complicated piece. But yeah, I suppose it'll make me think that you have to think about where you're putting everything. Just feels lumpy. Okay, fingers crossed now, girls. Oh. Just to there. Okay. So we're going to pull these pins out and hope that I've done all this in the right order. There we go. We have his ears there. Okay, that's the inside of his ears. My sky is a little bit squiffy, but it's fine. I suppose if it all goes squiffy, it's all good. Put that in there. Put it down. Right, so we've done 9. So now 10. No, we've done 8. We're going on to 9 now. So 9 there. Oh no, we haven't cut that off. Hang on a tick. Pull this back. That's why it looks a bit odd. Got to trim it off. I can hear some of you going, trim it off! Okay. So we're going to line that up on there. Take all the bumps off. Otherwise, you end up with it lumpy. Okay, now we're going to take it and pin it down. There we go. It'll be nice and soft. All soft it is. Right, so that's 8. So the chest is 9. So I'm going to trim that off there, because we don't need any of that. Right. And we said we were going to use the white one, weren't we? this one, just to give it something a little different. Now we've got beautiful, what are they called, flannels in the shop that could definitely be used for this type of thing. It's going to fold it out in it, yeah. Okay. Put that in there, and I'm just going to sew along here. We're getting there. Getting there. Okay, so just going to put our okay, so we need to keep it folded, pull this back here and chop that off. It's a rhythm, isn't it? You get into a rhythm. It's a shame that you have to keep stopping to trim it off though. Sometimes it would be a lot easier if you could just keep adding the pieces. Right, so we've done 9. 10 is main again. So we're going to take this and I'm going to put this going here like that, and then I'll put this on top there. I'm just checking now to see it's in the right place. It is. Just going to pin that there, and then we're going to sew down this line here, which then holds everything down. Just making sure everything is in. Over here. Okay, so we're putting in there. So has anything new been going on with you lot? Are you still there? Are you still awake? Tomorrow we've been putting a whole load of new fabrics on the website. So hopefully tomorrow we will do a what's on the shelf. It probably won't be a what's in the box. There might be some boxes, but we are going up here to the sky, okay? We're going to be doing a what's in the what's on the shelf, because we want to we've already put some of it on the website. There's new Liberty on there, and new Christmas. We put Jolly Good on, which is we took on to where did we take it? Create and Craft. So that's on the website. Hadn't been on before. We've got, what else have I been doing? Have you actually checked out the new Cascade? If you like blues and creams, then Cascade is definitely something you should be checking out. The marble has gone back on the website, some of it has sold out, so check that out if you wanted more of it. I think the blue and the purple sold out, so So you'll need to check that out if you wanted more for your stash. What else has been going on? We've had a busy couple of days putting stuff back on the website or new stuff on. Sarah was busy quilting over there today. So she was doing one for a lady called Heather. You've seen Heather. Oh, the sky is really skylight. Right, and the last piece on this one is the sky here. Okay. Do you need me to talk you through any more of this? You know, do you need more of an explanation about any of it? Or are you pretty okay with doing this type of thing? Because I know a lot of you have already been doing quite a bit of foundation piecing. Okay, so we want that way up. There. We're trying to work out what class we're going to do. We've got another date. We managed to get another date in Mirchfield, so we're trying to decide what class you all would like. We had a few suggestions, but they were all different. So that's something that we're going to have a look at. Okay. Right. Okay. You're still there, Eugene. That's lovely. I'm glad somebody is. Right. We're going to bend this back, and that's our last piece then. There, isn't it? We're going to trim that bit off. Right. There, just bend that bit and trim that off there. Okay, so that then goes out there. Now you'll notice I haven't ironed anything, but there's no reason why you can't. Okay. I tend not to, it's just another step, isn't it? So I think all that's going to hold itself down. I'm just going to go around the outside so that we can put it down. Okay, so again, you're just going around. I mean, you can see that they're slightly odd shapes, but they all fit together. I think you're, I don't know whether it would be different. I will try and work out a pieced bit. I think I was trying to keep it, true to the, original picture, but I think I might have to make some changes to make it work better when it's pieced. But it needs playing with and having a go at, really. So that it works mathematically. While you're writing letters, are you writing, Natalie? Are you doing it old school, or are you typing them? Because I think writing letters is a dying art. I don't remember the last time I actually wrote a letter. to enjoy writing a letter, but I don't really, you tend to text somebody. I used to really enjoy it. Used to write home. I went to boarding school, and we'd write home every week, and it was always, "Dear Mum and Dad, how are you? I am fine." And it was the same every single time I wrote. "How are you? I am fine." Right, there we have half of one of them. So he's going to sit. This is going to line up. So we have his inner. Yeah, I am on the right camera. Inner ears here, and a big ear, which, look, I've only just caught in there. And there's his chest and his back. Okay, so we're now going to put this last piece on here, which will give him his other ear and his hands. So, thinking about it, I could probably have done with doing some of this last night, so that you would, I never know how much to do. But there you go. Here we are. Right, off we go. I've got nothing else to do this afternoon. What about you? Okay, so we want this to be up the right way, like that. Which way did his ears go? Yeah, his ears went that way. So I'm going to put that there. We don't need that. That bit off there to use this bit, like that. And we need some tree. So we're using the dark brown for tree. There we go. Just trim that bit off there. I've got a straighter line. Okay, so it's only a little bit of tree. Okay, so we're just going to put the tree there, like that. We'll do it like that. And we're going to take it back over here, and I've done it the wrong way round. Done it the wrong way round. We end up with it all backwards, wouldn't we? So this is going out right, and then that one is going there. Look at this. Makes it look like I know what I'm doing. Right, okay, over here. I think it's going to catch. We're going to move that slightly over. Like that. So I've left my phone on noisy because I keep forgetting the camera, and then everybody texts me, so I left it on. Oh, wrong one. The Luna box. I love Luna. I think it's amazing. I just don't have the time. I've got the book, but not the thing. So you're typing. Only handwrite if needed. I miss writing. I've got quite nice writing, or I'm quite happy with my writing. So I always miss doing a bit of writing. Okay, so that bit is, yeah, that's going to be okay. So I'm just going to trim this off a bit. I don't need all of that. Like that. Over there. So now we need more tree. So we're going to trim that off, Seth. Trim it off first, look. There we go. Put that back there. done with a bit of an iron, but we're going to be chopping most of that off there. So the next piece we're putting on is tree. So we're going to put another piece of tree there. The end that we're using, there it is. So we're now going to put this right sides together, and we want it there. So we put it next to that. I know that's going to cover it. And we're going along here. Okay. So yes, I think the art of handwriting is dead. I always think, I mean, people buy me or I buy notebooks quite often because I enjoy writing, but I tend to start off writing down a diary or something, but it doesn't last long. I'm not very consistent. I like the idea of having a diary way into the future that people can read at another time. Oh, have I reached? Yes. I think I just didn't think about it. I came to the angle and I have just, look at that, I've just got in with my tree. So I'm going to take that bit off there, like that. Hold that back and just take that end off there. I have only just managed to get my tree bit in. So you've got to watch these angles. These angles get me every time. Right, so we're going back to a main now. So we need to put that. That is going to go in that direction. Like that. So we're going to bring it forward a little bit so that I know I'm covering it. Back. Ooh, yes, we've only just made it, but at least I don't have to unpick that bit. So that will be coming down a little bit more. We bring that down a bit more. I know that it's got more chance of covering it, like that. Now we're going to sew along this one here. We're nearly there. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't take you to the sewing machine. Never mind. Never mind, you didn't miss anything. Okay, so I'm going to put that there and hope that this is going to fit. Cover it all. Ooh. Ooh, just. I think my tree, when I put the tree down this bit, I think I'm going to have to make sure it's over quite a bit. It's only just through. There's my point there. Ooh, look at that. Hit it, but only just. So, we shall pray for good news with that. And we've done a main, so we've got a little tree, little bit of tree. So we're going that way again, like that. I'll pull that down there. I think I've got enough that's going to cover it. Yeah. definitely going to cover it. Okay, so back over to here, like this. So our next class is September, and we're doing Storm at Sea, but with the Crafty UK templates, which makes it so easy to do. It's brilliant. So we've got templates in, so that's going to be a nice gentle class, be lovely. So we're doing that the weekend that Sarah and Phil are in Harrogate. So I don't think I've ever been to Harrogate. Harrogate and Duxford. Never been. Never been. I keep saying I'm going to go, but I've never been. Right, okay. I'm going to put that on there. And then we've got another arm to do, and then 2 bits of tree. So trim that like that, and we're going to put another piece of this. Sorry about that. Okay, last piece of arm is going to go on there. Be there. Put it like that. Notice I've done a really big bit, just so that I get it in the right place. Okay, and over here, like this. And then the last piece then is a bit of tree. So you pretty much, all of you pretty much know what to do now. So what I'd like to do is take a photograph. This would be my next bit, foray into this. And you take a photograph and then try and work it out. I think that would be pretty cool. That's his arm going that way. Right there, like that. Last bit of tree. No, second to last bit of tree. Chop a piece off, so. Okay. So second to last bit of tree is just this little bit here, and then the long 12-inch piece. Hopefully I've left myself some 12-inch. So we're going to do that. Okay. Back over here. Do with one of those cameras that follows you. One of those cameras that was attached to the boys was always a good one, wasn't it? Because they followed you when you were moving, rather than you having to think about it. Okay, so we are now getting there. We're going to trim this last one, and then we have to trim all of them along this edge here. So I'm folding that one back, putting my quarter, add a quarter ruler on there, like that. What about you lot? I could eat a monkey donkey, I'm so hungry. Right, I'm putting that there. Doesn't look much at the moment, does it? But we're now going to fold this back like that. And to fold. I want to cut it on this line here. So I'm going to fold that line back there, like that. And I'm going to put my add a quarter on. And we're going to trim that all off. All that extra bits is coming off. Like that. All these little scraps. Okay, so we now have a tidy piece like that, which we are now going to put a long piece of tree on there. Long piece of tree. So if we do that like that, and we just chop off all the bits that we don't want. Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, even postcards, you don't, because you put so much on, going back to the letter writing thing, because you put so much onto social media these days, you don't tend to write a postcard. Which again is a shame. Okay. Right, this is where you find out whether you've done it right, set. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do, pig, that'll do. Okay. So we now have our finished pieces. So pull that back again. I'm going to put the outer quarter on there. No, we're not. We're going to do it like that. We've been foiled at the last hurdle. Get that piece off there. You missed my my deliberate mistake. I didn't fold this bit over. I folded this into the place that it was supposed to be, and I was about to cut it. Okay, so we now have a tree there. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to pin that flat. We're just going to put a thing around. Pin that in place like that. I'm just going to sew all the way around this one, and then I will show you how to put it together. Okay. So this, putting it together, I unpicked it about 4 times because I just put it together. I just put them right sides together and sewed it. Yeah. And then realised that, you know, you go back to thinking about what I've listened to Sarah say on the 1 o'clocks and everything about how to match up your points. See, I do listen to her sometimes. Blooming thing. I don't know what that does. I don't know what that does. Where's the... Whatever I've done, the light's gone off now. last piece here. Okay. Over here. I like that idea. I like the idea that you're still getting postcards from your sister. Really, Claire and I ought to do it more because we live abroad. We should write letters to each other. And I think we go through stages where we do, but I don't think we even do birthday cards as such these days. Oh, look at that. I've managed to get all of that stuck in there. Okay, just going to trim that off. I'm sure Elsie is not going to be a connoisseur of whether I've done it right or wrong, so we're just going to go on regardless. We're going to carry on regardless here. So we're going along here, making sure that it's all sorted. There we go. So we now have our two pieces like that. This one here. That piece there is going to then add on to here, right, like that. And then this piece adds on there. And you can see more of a koala now, can't you? So we need to make sure, going back to this book, okay, I haven't drawn them on the pattern, but it points out where it thinks you should be joining these up. So you're going to find the bottom of the ear point here, alright? So we're going to put them together like that, roughly there. And what we will do is we will find a pin, and we're going to put the pin in the shoulder there, right? So we put the pin where the shoulder meets there, and then you're going to find the bottom of his ear. So there's his ear, there's the bottom of his ear there. So you're going to do that, find the bottom like that, like that, and then you're going to make sure they marry up. You want to make sure that those 2 points are together, and then you're going to make sure that you're all lined up. Now you can see that you're hanging off the end here on the bottom and hanging off the end on the top, but if you measured that you'd probably find that that's 1/4 of an inch. Alright, so we're now going to sew along that line, and I'm hoping that this is going to work. So fingers crossed now, girls. Oh. A bit fast there. So I'm following the outside line of my template. Okay, so we're back to here. Now this is where ironing would be good. And you can see that, oh, is that right? Right, you can see where the bottom of my ear here, my ear here, has reached my shoulder. So that has perfectly lined up. Now on this one, what to do about that? I'm going to get rid of most of that in my seam allowance. If I unpick that bit, just in that area, like that. See, hence why I bring the unpicker. What do you like for unpicking? Do you not mind it? Do you because I do everything I can not to have to unpick something, especially when it comes to my crochet. I hate frogging back. Sarah says, well, take it back to this line. I just think, is anybody going to notice? I'm just taking this bit out of here. I'm hoping that this is just going to disappear into the seam allowance. There we go. We'll trim that bit off there. Nobody will know. Just don't tell anyone. Hopefully that now will disappear in, most of it will disappear in the seam allowance. So we're now going to put this on here. Okay, so we want these to match up. I think it is. It's the bottom of the ear and the top of this. So that's the bit we want to match up. So we're going to turn those over. We're going to find our pin once again. I'm going to stick it in the bottom of the ear, and then we're going to find the crossover line there for his chest. Okay. There we go. There. And then we're just going to make sure that everything lines up with that point. Like that. Okay. We've got a bit of an overlap, but it should disappear into our seam allowance when we go around the outside, you know, when you add borders, because it's not big enough for a cushion just yet. Just nipping down here. Okay, so, ta-da! Oh god, we're still here. Right, there. And there's our koala block. Now, once you can see the other one, you will add a nose and eyes, which are drawn on the pattern. So I don't know whether you want to have a go, and I put in little claws here, which you're not really going to see on this. You might want to put like sparkles or something on it. So you would draw his eyes roughly there and there, like that, and then a big nose. You need a big nose. And there's a koala. It looks more like a koala when you put his face in and his nose. Once you put his nose in, he's pretty good. So there you go. So as that's a really long one. I really need to learn how to work it forward, sort out what I should do before, make it smaller. It is very cute. I'm going to put a border around that and just make it into a cushion, I think. So there you go. Right, I'm going back over to work because I'm going to have to wake Sarah and Linda up, I think, after I've spoken so long. Sarah, you need a new one of these. It's very sticky. It's nasty. Right, so I'm off. I'll see you next week. I've got 3 of my squares left to do on my cardigan, and then I'll be moving on to putting them together. So it'll be crochet with me next week. All right, so I'll see you then. Ta-ra.